Imagine a grand old building, perched on a cliff, overlooking a waterfall that roars and crashes into the depths below. This is where our story takes place. The Hotel del Salto was originally built in 1923 as a luxurious mansion. Back in the day, it was a place where the wealthy and the elite would gather. Imagine grand parties, elegant dresses, and the finest of wines. It was the epitome of high society. In 1928, the mansion was converted into a hotel. The owners wanted to capitalize on its breathtaking view of the 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐜 Falls, hoping to attract tourists from far and wide. For many years, the hotel thrived. Guests would come to marvel at the natural beauty and enjoy the lavish hospitality. But as the years went by, something changed. The hotel started to lose its charm. Guests began reporting strange occurrences. They would hear whispers in the hallways when no one was around. Some claimed to see figures standing at the edge of the cliff, only to vanish into thin air. To understand the haunted history of Hotel del Salto, we need to delve into the legend of the 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐜 Falls. According to local folklore, the indigenous Muisca people believed that the falls were a sacred place. It was said that the spirits of the ancestors resided there, and the falls were a gateway to the afterlife. There's also a darker side to the legend. It is said that during the Spanish conquest, many Muisca people chose to jump from the cliffs of 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐜 Falls to escape enslavement and preserve their honor. The falls became a symbol of both beauty and tragedy. As the years went by, the Hotel del Salto began to decline. The once grand structure started to show signs of wear and tear. The booming parties and lively gatherings became a thing of the past. Fewer and fewer guests visited the hotel, and those who did often left with unsettling stories. One of the most chilling tales comes from a guest named Maria. She visited the hotel in the 1950s. Maria was an artist looking for inspiration. She was enchanted by the beauty of the falls and decided to stay at the hotel to work on her paintings. One night, Maria was in her room, working on a painting. It was late, and the hotel was eerily quiet. Suddenly, she heard a soft knock on her door. She opened it, expecting to see a hotel staff member, but there was no one there. Thinking it was her imagination, she went back to her painting. But then, she heard the knock again. This time, it was louder. She opened the door once more, and again, no one was there. Maria started to feel uneasy. She decided to go to bed, hoping to forget about the strange occurrences. In the middle of the night, Maria was awakened by the sound of someone crying. The sound was coming from the hallway outside her room. She got up to investigate, but as soon as she stepped into the hallway, the crying stopped. The hotel was silent again. Maria felt a chill run down her spine. The next morning, she packed her bags and left the hotel, never to return. She told her friends about the experience, and they were convinced that she had encountered one of the restless spirits of 𝐂𝐫𝐤𝐜 Falls. One room in particular gained a reputation for being the most haunted. Room 302. Guests who stayed in this room often reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Some claimed to see the ghostly figure of a woman standing by the window, looking out at the falls. A couple named John and Emily decided to spend a weekend at the hotel in the 1960s. They had heard the stories but were skeptical about ghosts. They booked room 302, curious to see if the tales were true. On their first night, Emily woke up feeling cold. She looked around and saw a misty figure standing by the window. The figure seemed to be a woman, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. Emily froze in fear. She wanted to wake John, but she couldn't move or speak. She just lay there, staring at the ghostly figure. The figure turned and looked at Emily, and in that moment, Emily felt a wave of sadness wash over her. The ghost seemed to be trying to communicate something, but before Emily could understand, the figure vanished. The next morning, Emily told John about what she had seen. He was skeptical, but he couldn't explain the cold spot they both felt in the room. They decided to cut their trip short and leave the hotel. By the 1990s, the Hotel del Salto had fallen into a state of disrepair. It was abandoned, left to the elements. Vandals broke in, and the once grand hotel became a shadow of its former self. But even in its dilapidated state, the stories of ghostly encounters continued. Locals would sometimes dare each other to spend a night in the abandoned hotel. Many who did came back with terrifying stories. They spoke of hearing footsteps echoing through the empty halls, of seeing shadowy figures flitting about, and of feeling an unshakable sense of being watched. One local, a young man named Carlos, accepted the challenge to spend a night in the hotel. Armed with a flashlight and a camera, he entered the decaying building. He planned to document his experience and prove that the stories were just myths. Carlos set up his camera in room 302, the most infamous room. As the night wore on, he explored the hotel, filming as he went. At first, everything was quiet. But as midnight approached, strange things began to happen. His flashlight flickered, and he heard faint whispers around him. Determined to stay the night, Carlos returned to room 302. He sat down, trying to stay calm. But then, his camera captured something chilling. A misty figure appeared by the window, just as others had described. The figure turned towards Carlos, and his flashlight went out. In the darkness, Carlos felt an icy hand touch his shoulder. Terrified, he grabbed his camera and fled the hotel, vowing never to return. In recent years, there have been efforts to restore the Hotel del Salto. The building was turned into a museum, showcasing its history and the legends surrounding it. But even with the renovations, the stories of hauntings persist. Visitors to the museum report feeling an eerie presence, especially in room 302. Some have captured strange images in their photos, and others have heard unexplained sounds. The ghosts of the Hotel del Salto seem to linger, unwilling to let go of their tragic past. The Hotel del Salto stands as a testament to the beauty and mystery of Tequendama Falls. Its history is a blend of opulence and tragedy, of grandeur and decay. The stories of ghostly encounters continue to captivate and terrify those who dare to visit. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the eerie atmosphere of the Hotel del Salto. It's a place where the past and present intertwine, where the living and the dead seem to coexist.